When life gets real, the mic stays warm. Hosted by the dad with lots of charm. Insights are sharp and data's tight. The lens already and the joke's online. Hot takes, real talk, keeping it true. From high school halls to podcast cues, live a little, learn a lot. Turn it up, this show is hot. Grab your coffee and let's get into it. No filter, no fluff, just real talk. Let's do it. Ready or not, here we go. It's the time for Muffman to start the show.
That's dope. It's literally taking forever.
Well, welcome to Hot Takes with the Murph Man. I am the Murph Man here with my co-host Connor. How are we doing today, Connor?
Could be better, but how you doing, Murph man?
Why? What could be better? More technical difficulties?
Yeah, always. You know the gist.
Okay, so what's going on?
Just Playcam's just I signed in, but it's taking forever to load.
Well, I don't know why you had to sign in. You couldn't just go live?
I pressed streaming and then it told me to go live because I don't think you're logged
Yeah,
in.
you were supposed to go live.
I
That's it.
did, and you're not logged in.
It doesn't matter. I haven't logged in just to save it. That's the only thing I saved.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe
playlist.
since you're doing
playlist.
Okay, I'm gonna just cancel. Can I start stream episode
Just-
28?
Just record.
Okay.
All right. God. All right. Sorry, you guys. All right. So right now, what are you playing?
I was pressing the intro, so I
Okay.
can skip it.
All right.
All right, we're good, I guess. Whatever.
Are we ready? I had it all ready to go. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we could just go.
All right. Well, the camera works. So I'm going to remove. All right.
They won't let me go live on TikTok.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Close TikTok. Connor, I told you you weren't listening to me. I told you
What?
I got TikTok right here.
Instagram.
No, I got TikTok.
You said Instagram, so I was like, okay,
Okay.
because I had
All
TikTok.
right. Don't
dude.
worry about it.
All right, we're good. What's
You're
up?
good? Okay, ready to ignite the fuse? Hold on. Not yet. Are you ready to get the show started?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Put the camera on yourself and apologize to our crew.
I'm sorry. Hold on, let me move it. I'm sorry.
You know, you asked
I'm
if I
sorry.
ever been disappointed in you. Right now, I'm disappointed.
Okay.
All right, you guys. Well, welcome to Hot Takes with the Murph Man. I am the Murph Man. Here, my co-host Connor. Connor, we already asked how you doing. He said it could be better. You doing better now?
Better.
All
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, before we go on, I want to let you guys know. I want to make sure everyone knows that what you're getting into. I am the Murph Man, and my views and Connor's views are ours and ours alone. We are not experts, and this is an unfiltered show, meaning some adult language might slip out of our mouths, or something genuine, or something really a little crazy. So if you're ready for a frank discussion, let's see what you guys get to see today in our show. Let's see what's going on with Igniting the Fuse.
Failure is feedback. Today in episode 28, the F word, how to fail a class, change your major, and still succeed. We're talking about a word that makes every student cringe, failure. But here's the hot take. Failure isn't the end, it's feedback. This episode reframes academic setbacks as part of the learning process and shows students how to bounce back stronger, smarter, and more self-aware. The fuse is lit. Murph Man, give us the bottom line.
Since we're doing this and we have the F word today, the F word means not the F word you're used to saying. It's failure. But we're going to teach you how to fail a class and change your major and still succeed. That's what we're going to be doing today. Now, we reframe academic setbacks as part of the learning process and show students how to bounce back stronger, smarter, and more self-aware. So my question is, when you think about this, Connor, how many of your friends have failed classes and they think it's the end of the world?
A lot.
A lot, right? It's not the end of the world. It's going to make it a little more difficult. It's going to throw off your pattern of classes, the schedule. It's going to do all that stuff, right? But it's not the end of the world. Now, I can tell you, when I started going to UTEP, I wasn't the best student out there, and eventually I stopped going to UTEP, and and eventually got my life together and went to college and got my master's degree and almost working toward a PhD, right? So it's not the end of the world. But at the time, I just, I was on academic probation, and if I didn't get my grades up, I was going to fail. And then I said, I'll do it the second semester, and I get up there, and I didn't. But I will say this: I graduated my bachelor's degree with cum laude. What's the word I'm looking for? Cum laude recognition, and I graduated my master's program with a 3.75 GPA. So,
oh wow,
yeah. So he's like Owen Wilson every time you say that.
Oh wow,
oh wow. But yeah, so it's one of those things that just because you fail, it's not the end of the world. I want you to think about this too. If you think about failing as the bad word, the F word, let's change it to something positive. We're going to call it feedback. Ooh, you like that?
Yeah, I like it.
Let's get some of that feedback going on how to change it, so it's not the end of the world when you fail a class. But I'll tell you what. Let's find out what today's burning question is in the segment called Burning Question.
What do you believe? Today's burning question is, what is the best mindset to have after failing a class? A, the belief that you are not smart enough. B, the belief that the professor was unfair. C, the belief that you can improve with effort and a new strategy. D, the belief that you should just give up. Murph Man, what's the flashpoint?
All right, so we have the question. What is the best mindset to have after failing the class? All right. Well, could it be the belief that you are not smart enough? That's real. Okay. But we're looking for the best mindset. So that's not really the best mindset, is it?
No.
The belief that the professor was unfair. Now, I will share a story about each one of these down the road. The belief that you can improve with effort and new strategy, right? And the belief that you should just give up. And that's what I did the first time.
Yeah.
So, when we think about that, you ready for the flashpoint, though?
Yes.
The flashpoint is... Sorry. Let me get back to my camera over here.
Ready for the flashpoint? Yeah.
The flashpoint is C, the belief that you can improve with effort and new strategy. This is the growth mindset. Remember, probably episode number 13 or something like that, we had the growth episode, the growth mindset, where we're always trying to grow and be better and improve our lives.
Yes.
Okay, that's the growth mindset. So we're trying to just make our lives better. All right. And it's the foundation of resilience. When I think about resilience, it's bouncing back from negative situations. Okay. I know things happen to all of us, and sometimes it's not the best thing that happened to us.
Nope.
And when bad things happen, we have to bounce back and we have to live our life and we have to move on. All right. So it allows you to see the failure as feedback and a learning opportunity rather than a permanent reflection on your ability. The heat's rising, Connor, and I want to ask you this.
What?
Going back to your friends, what kind of feedback do they get when they fail a class?
When they fail a class, they're just like, they'll do better. Some more like, I might just drop out of that class, or I remember one friend, she was like, oh, I'll get a better grade, and if not, then I tried.
Well, they would actually drop out of the class, right? They're like, I can't have an F in this class.
Some of them.
Okay. Some would say, I'm going to try harder. I'm going to go to tutoring. I'm going to go to the lab. I'm going to talk to my, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will share this with you. Getting an F sometimes when you expect good grades. I'm going to give you guys. We have a hot take that's related to this show, but I'm going to give you my own personal hot take right now about something here. Does it really matter what grades you get in college? When does it matter? Maybe I should say that. When does it matter what your grades are in college?
Always.
You sure?
I would think so.
It matters when you have financial aid and you can lose your financial aid. Okay, if you don't have the GPA. It matters when you're trying to go into a master's and a PhD program. Okay. And that's it.
Mm.
What kind of grades did I get in school? I just got through saying I graduated with honors, but my point being is if I hadn't said that to you, you wouldn't know what I got in college.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you just never know. Like your doctor, your lawyers, your teachers. They don't sit there and go, okay, I got a C. You want to be my client? Or I got a straight A. Do you want to be my client? It doesn't work that way, right?
Yeah.
You just go to the doctor and you're like, whichever one can fit me in and is close to me.
I mean, I guess.
Right? So does it really matter what grades we get in the long run?
No.
Okay. But if you're working with someone that gets all C's and someone that works with all A's, are you going to be able to tell the difference between those two people?
I don't know. Yeah, I would think so.
Because they have different work ethics.
One's like all straight on, and then one's just
doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And that is where grades matter. It's not really the grades, it's the effort you put into the classrooms. So I'll tell you what, let's get to today's hot take and let's find out what I want to bring up reference to this. So let's get today's hot take.
All right.
The comeback is greater. Today's hot take is, a failing grade is better than staying in the wrong major for 4 years. It is simply data. It tells you that your current strategy isn't working. You can either let it define you, or you can use it to refine you. The choice is yours. Murph Mann, what's the play?
Wrong. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I mean, like, my brain just went somewhere else because you were like looking for something. I'm like, what's he looking for?
Oh, I was just.
Yeah, a failing grade is better than staying in the wrong major for 4 years. It's simply data. Okay, it tells you that your current strategy is what we're talking about. So think about that and understand that failing, it just tells you, okay, maybe you need to put a little more effort into this. Maybe there's something going on here that you're not doing too well.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you're going to be able to reevaluate yourself and say, maybe this is not the class for me. And I'll tell you where it was for me. When I took college chemistry, I had never taken anything above biology in high school because that's all we needed was just the 1 hour. And I ended up taking college chemistry, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I was like, "Okay, this is not the class I need to be taking. There's other science classes I can take besides chemistry."
But I think chemistry would be the easiest out of all of them.
You think so? Really? Easier than like astronomy and stuff?
Yeah, really, yeah.
I don't have an interest in chemicals. I have an interest in the stars. But anyway,
I
so
mean, you can take it and find out.
you mean an elective? That's right.
An elective.
Yeah, you can take astronomy as an elective and see if you like it or not.
Oh, well, yeah.
Right. Chemistry is, like, why do I need to know chemistry for physics and computer science and stuff is probably what you're asking yourself. Again, we go back to you have to be well-rounded and take all the classes and everything.
But I'm not gonna use chemistry like with all the formulas, all the gases. Yeah, no.
But when you're building something, if you're building something with aluminum and you're not supposed to mix that with, say, silver nitrate. I don't know what, I'm just making up words here. But aluminum and these two metals should not mix together. You need to know that when you're engineering a building.
But I mean, with computers, I don't really use it.
With computers, see, that's one of the things that you got to use your brain. This is the best computer in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm not using aluminum or silver nitrate.
Aluminium.
Aluminum.
No, aluminum. Aluminum is aluminium. That's how they say it in England. Aluminium. Just like they say schedule. It's a schedule.
Oh.
Aluminum. Aluminium.
Aluminum.
Yeah. Pericardio.
Huh?
Pericarditis. How are you doing, by the way? Have you had any other problems health-wise?
No, not really.
Speaking of pericarditis.
Pericarditis, you mean?
Yeah, whatever.
Did we discuss that last episode or no?
Yeah, that was with Javi here.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm doing better. I haven't had chest pains. My medicine's doing good. I'm almost out.
Okay.
Well, I'm like running out, I guess, but of the
penicillin
or
the ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen I have a lot of.
Right.
So but the colchicine and the whatever.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that. I thought you had like 2 months supply.
I do, but I'm almost out of the bottle.
But if you had a 2 month supply, how are you at the end of the bottle?
2 month supply.
That's what I'm saying. I thought you had a good amount of supply. Anyway,
no, that's all of them.
You go to the doctor, we get a refill. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Right. But I'll tell you what. Let's take a break right now, and when we take a break, we're going to talk about some stuff here, and then we'll get ready to get started with the show.
All right.
So stand by.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
According to the VA's suicide data report, an average of 22 veterans die by suicide every single day. This figure is a sobering reality and a crisis that demands our immediate attention and compassion. We must recognize and address the fact that every 24 hours, 22 veterans are losing their lives to suicide. The war doesn't always end when our veterans come home. The invisible wounds they carry, wounds that are real and heavy, require continuous support. No veteran should have to carry this burden alone. Many veterans experience stress and disconnection as they navigate life after service. But there is hope, there is help, and you are not alone in this fight. There's a vibrant community ready to support you, offering friendship, understanding, and shared experiences. You served your country, now let us serve you. Don't fight the toughest battle in silence. Your mission now is to reach out. Dial 988, then press 1. Text them at 838255. The Veterans Crisis Line is available 24/7. Every day, we save lives. Your life is invaluable, and your service is honored. Let's work together to make 22-0 again. No veteran should face their struggles alone. Together, we can ensure every veteran finds the support and hope they deserve.
He gets help, but he still feels off. Sees an ad on the TV about a dog batting said, "This is a man's best friend." Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again.
Before we get back to the show, I'd like to pause for something that matters. I was inspired by Ryan Spencer's song, Make 22-0 Again. I'd like to remind you that help is always available 24/7, 365. If you ever feel you need support or are in crisis, call 988 and press 1 or text 838255. There will always be someone ready to listen. Remember, you are not alone.
Still got 30 seconds.
All right. Sorry, I'm over here moving my mouse and I need to move something else. All right, right now we're going to talk about laying down the coals. Why is that important?
Oh, you want me to skip it?
No, just wait. Okay. We're going to lay down the coals. That's what we're going to be doing today. And we're going to analyze the different terms we're going to be using. All right, we're back. So in today's segment, laying down the coals, we're actually going to be talking about the terms and definitions and key terms that we're going to be talking about throughout the show. So this is very important to understand these here, okay?
Okay.
So at this time, we're going to go ahead and play Laying Down the Coals video, and it'll give us a quick update. Here we go.
All right.
Define your value. Define the ask. Before we dig in, let's clarify some of the key terms we'll be using today while laying down the coals. Growth mindset. The belief that your abilities can be developed through hard work and dedication. Academic resilience. The ability to bounce back from academic setbacks and keep moving forward. Course correction. Adjusting your path based on new information. Now that the coals are laid, Murph Man, bring the fire.
Just real quick. The terms. Growth mindset is the belief that your abilities can be developed through hard work and dedication. You always got to grow. Okay. Academic resilience is the ability to bounce back when you're not doing too well in classes. And course correction, adjusting your path based on new information. All right. So we talk about the F word being not failure, but feedback. All right. When you fail something, you have to analyze why you failed something. If you try to do something new and you fail, what caused it to fail? For example, this podcast, right? Well, I had a great idea to do a podcast. Great idea, whatever. What was the first hurdle we had to overcome? And see if you can remember any of this. It was a really big hurdle.
I don't know. A place to stay.
A place to actually have the podcast, right? That's not something I thought of when I started doing this, right? Just as fast as I got started, it would have been gone. Yeah, I could have been at my desk and having my background with my bookcase and everything, right? But
yeah,
that wasn't what I wanted. And, and my friend Letty stepped up and she gave us the room, and now, we have our studio here. But very easily could have failed at this and just given up when we first started this, right?
Yeah.
But that's not who I am. I don't let things keep me down too long. Now, do I get down? Yeah, I do get down every now and then. But I say I will succeed. I will overcome. I will, whatever the case may be, right? Because I have a growth mindset. I'm resilient. I bounce back.
Yeah.
Rarely does something happen to me that I cannot overcome. The hardest thing I ever had to do was deal with your mom passing away. It took me a long time to overcome that. But I did. Something I never thought I would, I did. And you have overcome it as well. We were talking about this the other day. It does hurt when people talk about their mom and you don't have one, but you have still succeeded in life. This is what we talked about when I said, I say things like this and you always disagree with me, right? Because you have succeeded and you have done things, and let's see where it goes. You have a lot of things you have to deal with, and hopefully you can focus on yourself to do that. Okay, so like for example, I know you didn't do too great the first semester in college. That's everyone, right? What are you gonna do now different this semester that you didn't do last semester?
Study more.
Study more.
This like semester is honestly like a little bit better than the classes I had last semester.
What was difference between last semester and this semester that was hard for you?
The lecture,
The
the lecture
lecture?
and the workshop, and the lab.
For what class?
Chemistry.
Oh, you had trouble with chemistry like I did. Although I'm sure you did much better than I ever could. It's one of those things that when you look at all the changes that you have to go through, right? Going to college, the hard work, everything. That first semester is a shock, and you need to adjust to it. That's that resilience. Okay, is all right. Maybe I didn't do as good as I wanted to do, but I will do better this semester. And like for example, this semester you have a class called discrete structures.
Mm-hmm.
Compare that to your other classes. Is that the hardest class you ever had?
Like this semester, or like
just ever?
Yes.
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 Yeah. Discrete structures is a very hard class.
This one I'm struggling with.
Yeah, you're going to.
And then we did an exam, and I'm like, oh, I don't really know anything.
Well,
even if I got the extra time, because she told me since I was out for like a whole week and a half.
Yeah.
That I could take more time than the 45 minutes. I could take longer, but I didn't know my stuff. Even I had the paper, and I still like couldn't really understand it. Even though, because I had a meeting Monday, and was it Monday, and then we had the quiz Thursday. I thought it was gonna be like a regular pop quiz, No, this was like a full-on exam, and she didn't say it anywhere except class.
Syllabus.
She didn't post.
I bet you it has to be there. Okay, if it's an exam, yes.
No,
pop quizzes are called pop quizzes. They just pop out of nowhere.
Well, not a pop quiz. We mostly have a quiz every day. That's what I thought it was gonna be.
All right.
And I had some I had to do like 3 quizzes since I missed a whole week, and then I had to learn new stuff that I never seen, and I was struggling.
I
still am.
Well, you're gonna keep struggling, okay? But hopefully you make that resilience part we talked about and adjust and make those course corrections so that you can do better in that class. I took a business class and we were doing accounting.
Oh God.
And I went to the field when I was in the Army, and I missed the whole segment on accounting. Came back and that was the test. And I asked my teacher, I was in the Army. He goes, well, tough. And I failed that part, right? And like up to this day, accounts receivable and accounts payable, those terms just traumatize me. Because it's like I remember I failed that part of the test, and it was so hard. And that's when I realized, maybe I should go to classes that I know the answers to already. So that's why I started taking psychology.
Mm.
But I will tell you, in high school, you'll understand why I'm emphasizing high school a little bit. We're studying history, World War II, Japan attacking the ships. What were those planes called that were dive bombing on the boats? And I was like, I know this answer. Connor. I was like, I know this answer. I put my head on the table, and I was just like, think. And then I remembered kamikaze shots. That's what it is. And I remember the answer because I was drinking there in Juarez and doing kamikaze shots. And that's why I remember the term. Well, you're shaking your head like I'm nuts.
Did you put shots at the end?
No.
If you did, that would have been funny.
That would have been. But I could not remember the term to save my life. And I'm like, what is that drink that not what's the term that I'm looking for? It was like, what's the drink that I drink that I need this for? And
I don't know why. I thought they were named Nagasaki.
Nagasaki's where they dropped the first bomb.
I was like, I confused it with the city.
Now, I'm going to get distracted here.
Uh-oh.
I want to share this.
Go ahead. We got time.
Do you know where we are in the state?
Home.
No.
Oh.
Like in comparison to Los Alamos?
I have no idea where that is.
It's 2 hours north of us in White Sands.
Okay.
All right. That's where they set off the first atomic bomb. And I went
Oh,
with my uncle and my cousin Michael and a few other people, and we went to the actual location the bomb was exploded on, and there was little green glass everywhere. You know what that was?
uranium, everything.
Trinitite,
Trinitite.
because it was all the sand that became glass and was radioactive. So you can only go in for so much time, you know. Later on in life, when I became an NBC tech with nuclear biological chemical warfare type person, that was my job.
When? You've never told me that. You've never told me that. Wow.
All right. In the Army, you get trained to do your job, but you have these things called additional duties. Like, for example, I was trained to be a mail clerk. I was trained to be an NBC tech, which is a nuclear biological chemical person. And my job would be to inform the commander what I thought about the radiation levels and if we should go ahead and go through the path or not. And for example, let's say we have to get from here to the Franklin Mountains, 10 miles away, but there's radiation in between. So I would tell you the risk of radiation exposure is going to be 50 rads. So, you get through this and you're like, okay, once we get to 50, we're all going to die. But we're only going to get there halfway through. So you make the choice, do we go through or around? Sometimes going through is don't worry about it. So sometimes you have to go through there. And as you're going through, you're going to die. We're going to lose so many soldiers. So you have to choose whether you're going to go through. That was my decision not my decision. My calculations had to be correct in that. So to protect the unit if we went into places like that. So I had a really big interest in nuclear explosions, because as a kid I went to Los Alamos and got to see where the Trinity site was, where they blew up the first atomic bomb. Learning from it from a warfare standpoint was really interesting. Like with the actual blast radius and everything, just really, really cool stuff.
How big was the radius? Like how far?
15, 20 miles. But the first mile to 2 is completely obliterated. Then you have from 2 to 5 miles, there's exposure to radiation and you might survive the initial blast, but you're going to probably die from radiation. Outside 5 to 10, 15 miles, you have the radiation that's survivable depending on how long you were exposed to it and how fast you can get treatment and all that, and then you have the fallout, the dust. Because I don't know the bomb explodes and sends the concussion wave out, and then it comes back in. And when it comes back in, it creates a vacuum going out so fast, and then it goes up into the mushroom cloud. That's what you see. All right.
Yeah.
And then that is dirt and all the debris that's been burned up into ash and gets put out over a certain area or wherever the winds take it. And that part of my job was knowing where the winds were to say, this is where the fallout's going to be. We need to go this way or something, But the other thing that I was there I wasn't there at the first atomic bomb. I was at the first site of the first atomic bomb. Do you remember when we went to DC? I took you to go see the plane over there.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the name of the plane was?
I was hoping you went for that. No, I don't remember.
But the plane I'm talking about is the Enola Gay. It dropped the bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And so I've seen the plane that dropped the bombs. The only thing I have left to do is to go to Nagasaki and Hiroshima and see where the bombs landed.
I think they fixed it, no?
Oh, yeah, they came back. And that's one of the reasons Japan is such an amazing country with technology and everything. They rebuilt and they made it better from what they were. And that's why we have a lot of the products we have now in Japanese and Chinese and Asian, because of they're rebuilding.
And they're making more new stuff. They're so more like technical, advanced, more than us.
Now, I mean, in Japan, they don't have trash cans out in public. You're not expected to just throw away your trash. You're supposed to be responsible for your own trash. It's crazy. And then they have like vending machines that will sell all this weird stuff.
Like all the ramen, all the candy, all the actual like regular food.
Yeah, but they also have like stuff that will sell. They'll vend a backup battery, a power bank.
Oh,
They have, it's amazing stuff you can find in vending machines there. Now, I will tell you this, something really interesting that they found in Egypt was a vending machine when they uncovered Egypt. And, at all the archaeology, they actually uncovered a vending machine. It had a coin, you would go in and it would dispense something. It's pretty cool, huh? 5,000 years ago.
Wow, that's insane.
Right? Yeah, so I'm just going to shut up because I was going to talk about the library at Alexandria. I've told you that story, that all the knowledge in the world disappeared when the library burned down. We would have been so much more advanced now if that had not happened. If I could go back and change one thing in time, you would probably think I would change mom dying. I wouldn't change that. I would go back and stop the fire burning in Alexandria, Virginia, in Egypt, because that's where the world's knowledge. I would love to see where, how far we could have come.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Talk about nuclear bombs. It's amazing. It can actually be survived. People don't think that, but yeah. It was not far you are from the blast.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you're nowhere close to it, then you're fine.
Yeah. And, back in the Cold War, we had like missiles all over the country where we, that would send up and hit Russia, right? Do you know we had one here at Fort Bliss? I showed you the Minutemen.
Yes.
Yeah, right there. That would have been a target. We wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I was like, how far is Fort Bliss from here?
No, Fort Bliss is just a hop, skip, and a jump, less than 8 football fields away. How far is Ross? That's Fort Bliss.
Well, it depends where they.
But how far is Fort Bliss? It's 800.
Like the entrance.
Yeah.
Ew.
No, the fence line. Fort Bliss is right behind Ross and Huey.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 800 meters.
That's not 800 meters.
Half a mile.
That's half a mile. That is half a mile. You.
Yeah, think about that. That's how close we are to it. So, and then the Minuteman bomb shaft, whatever you call it, was actually probably about another 1.5 miles away. So we would have been in the blast radius to die. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you think if we see the planes, we could just like get in the car and drive?
Well, you wouldn't see the planes. They're high enough to where you don't even see them. That's the thing.
Well, you see something in the sky.
Well, by the time you see a plane, the bomb's already here.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing with technology nowadays. You can actually shoot something that's like 3 to 5 miles away. You can't even see the plane and hit the rocket hits you, whatever.
Oh God.
Yeah, technology warfare is nasty, dude. It really is. And then at the same time, you have places like when I was in Somalia, it was all close quarter stuff that you had to go through doors and everything. Afghanistan, Iran. It wasn't a distance thing. It was a personal thing here, But God, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to get so distracted, you guys. That's just my ADD and my teaching education wanting to move on here. I do apologize about that. I'll tell you what. Let's get what
I would think it's a nice, not lesson, but like a nice story to hear.
Well, I like telling the story. Doesn't mean that people want to hear it.
Oh, too bad.
You know what I mean?
It's our podcast. They don't like it. Too bad. So
that is true. We get to talk about whatever we want to talk about, right? We're paying for all this. All right. So I'll tell you what. Let's hear the story from the fire that talks about these terms we talked about and gets back on track. Here's some day's story from the fire.
The wrong path revealed. Jorge failed calculus and felt like a fraud. But after meeting with his advisor, he realized he was more passionate about economics than engineering. He switched majors, retook the class, and found his groove. He learned that a failing grade might be a sign that he was on the wrong path all along. That was a story from the fire. Murph Man, lead the way.
Were you typing something?
Was I typing something?
Tapping, like knocking.
No.
Okay, hold on. You talk. I'll be back.
Okay, I can do this. All right. So again, the story here, Jorge or George, Jorge is Hispanic, didn't pass calculus and he felt like a fraud. And after meeting his advisor, he realized he was more passionate about engineering. So he switched majors and retook the class and found his groove. He learned that the failing grade he had might just be a sign that he was in the wrong path all along. So, calculus is part of engineering. So it's one of those things that there's different levels of it, and depends on where you got to take will determine where you got to go. So when you think about that, all right, it's not a problem if you need to change courses. How many times have I told Connor, if you need to change your degree, do it. There's no need to worry about that, right? As long as you go to college and do something with your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy path you're taking, but it's something you have to do until you get there. So if you need to change paths, you need to change paths. It's just one of those things that people do.
Mm-hmm.
There was many times where I asked myself, like, well, when I got laid off from work, when I was a counselor for 16 years and I got laid off, everyone's like, what are you going to do with your life, Sean? And I'm like, well, I'm going to keep teaching at the college, but I need another job. Do I want to do counseling again? I'm not licensed, right?
I mean, you could have.
I could have gotten licensed.
Would you want that?
I didn't do that, did I?
Well, I mean, but like, thinking about it, would you want to be a counselor?
No, not anymore. Although I miss it, don't get me wrong. Although I'm moving towards consulting and doing stuff now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Patty and Julie were like, "Are you going?" Patty, they were my coworkers and my boss. What are you gonna do now, Sean? And one of them was like, "Are you gonna become a massage therapist?" Because I was really good at giving massages, right? And then the other one was like, "Are you gonna become a cook? Go to culinary art school and cook because I loved cooking." I know you probably don't believe that now,
No,
right? I don't cook often, but when I cook good. I just don't like to cook.
You do cook good. Mm.
But I had a choice to make and change careers. I could have gone back to college and learned cybersecurity. I could have gone back to college and learned hospitality like Trina. There's so many possibilities that I could have done. And I had to change my career path. Now, that's because of my life situation changed.
Yeah.
But that could happen during college. And here's another one. Like, let's pretend you meet someone in college and you start dating and they're getting a career different than you, completely different. And you're like, that sounds interesting. Let me go to school with you. And you do that. Don't do that. Okay. Stay on your path. All right. Don't ever change for anyone else. But think about that, because as you're growing up, you're going to meet people and you're going to have to do things. And it's not always going to be the easiest thing to do. So
yeah,
it's a path. You can keep that in mind. But I'll tell you what, with those kinds of examples that we talked about, let's talk about the heat map and those actionable steps we can take to do well in school and don't do well.
Sounds good.
Audit, don't spiral. The heat map will show you where to focus your efforts for the most impact. Analyze what went wrong. Was it the material, the study habits, or outside stress? Talk to the professor. Ask for feedback on where you missed the mark. Meet with your academic advisor. See how this affects your graduation plan immediately. Reflect on your major. Determine if your path still aligns with your goals. The map is drawn. Murphman, what's the strategy?
So yes, analyze what went wrong. We talked about that already. Was it the material? Because sometimes material can be really difficult. Like discrete structures. I told you that one's going to kill you. That was a hard one. I knew that one.
Yeah.
Was it the teacher? And there's a video on TikTok about a guy who asks, my mom wants to know why I'm not passing this class. So he shows the video of the teacher talking and you can't understand a word they're saying. It's a very thick foreign accent. And I know that happens a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
It's already happened to me twice.
And you only had like what 12 classes or 10?
Yeah, 11.
5 last semester, 5 this semester.
I have. Hold on.
See, he wasn't ever really good at math. Everybody painted. He just wasn't
Okay.
really good at
1,
math.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. Damn. 12 classes, yeah.
Okay, maybe you need to lower down to 4 next semester. Okay,
Huh?
you need to go down to 4 next semester. 12 hours instead of 15 or 16 hours.
No, 12 classes.
I know, but
Oh.
a semester, 12 hours, 4 classes, 3 semester hours each. That's 12 hours a semester, not 15 or 18 like you've been taking.
More like 1 hour, 2 hours for
No.
my lab.
Yeah, I'm saying only take 12 hours, not 15 or 18,
Why?
so you don't get overwhelmed.
It was
Yeah.
just last semester. This semester is my stuff, and it's a little better because I actually understand it.
Your stuff that that you want to take, you're more interested in. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, one of those things that one of those things is the material, the subject, how much you like it, how hard it is, your teacher. What about your habits outside of class? Does that affect anything? I told you, student union was the worst experience I ever had because I never left it. It was the best experience, you know what I mean? But school-wise, worst thing that could have happened to me. When I went back to school, I was very, very focused on graduating. I had my job in the morning. I'd go to school from 5 to 10 at night. And then weekends for my master's program, it was a lot of work. And I wasn't going to put another time into that work if I didn't get a chance to get something out of it. I'm paying out of my pocket now. I'm an adult. It wasn't my mom's money or my dad's money. And I focused. And I was able to graduate. I was able to have friends too. Like when I went for my master's program, I'd go to the bar, and that's where we would do our homework.
Really? The bar?
It became a restaurant, bar, and at night it was a dance club.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. You know what? I should take you to Alpine one day. We've never done that.
Over there? Why?
Let's go. Let's go for lunch over there today.
Where's it even at?
Alpine.
I don't.
It's only 3.5 hours away.
Huh? Yeah, you're
Or
funny.
you go see Julie. She has a liquor store over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You remember Walks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I would love for you to walk in and try to buy liquor at her store.
Who, Julie?
Because she wouldn't recognize you. It's been 10 years since she's seen you.
I could try.
Anyway,
I'm just looking up how far, like, where Alpine is, because I've heard of it, but never been.
Well, going back to the class here, like I said, study habits or outside stress.
Oh wow.
You want to focus on school when you're in school. If you have a job and you have a life and everything, it gets super hard. Try to do school and only school, nothing else. Friends should come last. You also want to talk to the professor and ask for feedback on where you missed the work. Like, hey, what did I do wrong here? Now, I will tell you, my favorite story to share on this is my teacher in statistics. Do you remember the story where I forgot to hit square root at the end of my problem? And he's like, that doesn't give you any credit. I'm like, had I screwed up halfway through the formula, you would have given me partial credit. But because I forgot to hit square root at the end, you didn't give me credit and failed me. And he says, yeah, I was so pissed. And so after that, when I took my next 3 tests, next 2 tests, scored 100 on each one. And it's statistics, right?
Yeah.
Last test, he goes, if you get over 90, I'm just going to give you the A. I said, you're not going to give me a goddamn thing. I'm earning that goddamn A. And I did. I hated him. Years later when I took statistics at Ross, I was like, oh God, I hate this. But I did pretty good. I think I got a B on that this time, you know. But that was a higher level math and everything. I might have gotten an A. I can look at my transcript right now on the break, and I'll tell you. But you know, when you think about these things, right, that
Mhm.
everyone is doing something, okay, trying to succeed in life. You know, you have professors; they'll help you. And like you were out for a whole week. Most of the professors talk to you. They replied to your emails, right?
2 of them did.
2 of them.
Well, 3.
But when you went to go talk to them, did you go talk to all of them?
Only 2. One's online.
Okay, they don't have office hours. How do you get
They're
hold of
not
the teacher?
They're not at school.
Neither am I when I teach, but they have my cell number. They have my
I
email.
don't get their cell number.
No, I'm saying
I get the
my
email because I
students
texted
do.
them.
Yeah, but my students have my email, so they reach out to me. You know,
Yeah, no, I don't have any teachers' cell numbers.
all right.
If I did,
know,
I'd be spam calling them. With no call ID, just be like, hello.
you, you know, you can now program messages to be sent at a later date, right?
Yeah.
Like I have messages that are going to be sent out in the next year that
Oh.
if I die,
Oh.
I'm not dying.
Watch you die the same day.
No. Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, say I die today, you know, 3 months from now, you're going to get a random message. What's for dinner?
I would be so dumb. I'd actually answer. I'd be like, we got chicken, we got corn dogs, pot pies.
But I also have stuff like, are you
Hi.
behaving? Are you doing good? You know, stuff like that. Miss me yet?
Yeah, how was life? How's your boring life without me?
I'm tearing up. I'm laughing. That would, if you know, because I could do that to the girls.
Just be like, I see you. Where? Liar. It sucks.
Oh, do you remember I did that to you? Connor and I were in the same room, and he was, I don't know, 12, maybe 11.
Uh-huh.
And I sent you a message
9
like
or
I could
10,
see what you
dude.
were doing in the room. And then
I was in like 6th grade. That was
yeah, you were like, what?
I looked at the
Yeah,
window like,
6th grade's
huh?
11. Yeah, it was during COVID. So
That was not during COVID.
he's like, who's seeing me? He doesn't realize I'm sending him messages from a fake number. Oh man, I love sending those messages. But yeah, sorry.
No,
God,
because
I'm
I
just getting
actually
so distracted.
no,
My ADD is so bad. I'm so sorry, you guys. But yeah,
I'm just yeah.
so you can send messages. Anyway, talk to your teachers, talk to your professors, meet with your academic advisor. Tell me how that works. I've never done that.
Well, they're different.
I would go to the counselor, tell them this is the class I want. They would give it to me, and I walked out. I never had to be advised on my career.
Every college is different. Like college of engineering, science, health and science, liberal arts. You know, we're all different on how they do it. But there's there's academic centers at UTEP. There's like 2 or 3 in different buildings, and you go, you talk to them, saying like, or the front desk, you're like, I'm here to talk to an advisor for college or whatever, and you tell them why, and then you just schedule, and then you sit down and wait for them to call you up.
Yeah, and you can go in. It's not really a walk-in because they have other people or they're advising.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you
but
wait
you can get an appointment within like a few hours at the most, right?
minutes.
Yeah, man. Okay.
Most
all right.
is an hour, I would say. It's not long. I mean, advisors are quick. They're more. How can I say it?
Accessible.
Yeah, and more. They're faster, more than like Mike Loya, like with the.
Yeah, with the registration and everything.
Yeah.
Well, because everyone has to do that regardless of their college.
Yeah,
that's the big difference. You know.
Oh well.
But you want to see how failing affects your graduation plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, when Connor was in high school, I gave him a whole schedule he had to follow. And
you gave it to me from middle school
yes,
to
I
high
did.
school.
And I said, if you fail any of these classes, like let's say you 3A English, right? You fail it. Next semester, you got to take 3A and 3B. So you can stay on track for the rest of the years. Otherwise, if you say, I'll take it next semester, at one point you have to double up, or you have to stay an extra semester for that one class.
Or do summer.
Or summer school if they offer it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's different now, right? Now you're in college and you have a schedule and you can take whatever you want to take as long as you want. There's no time limit on it as long as you're going to school.
Yeah.
So if you want to take one class a semester, take one class a semester. If you want to take 10, well, not 10, but 10 hours, 12 hours is what I'm referring to. With 3 classes of lab, you can go up to 15, 18 hours. You've done 17. It can be done. It just, make sure you talk to your advisor and ask, how does this class that I failed affect me with my scheduling for the year that I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And last thing is reflect on your major. Determine if your path is still aligning with your goals. Last week, I talked about that girl who became a psychiatrist and then realized she didn't like it.
And then became
a real estate agent.
Yeah.
I remember Javi just was like, what? Like, she went through all that. Yeah. I don't know why. It was one of those things that it really, really surprised me that she went through all that and nothing happened. Nothing came of it after so many years and so much debt. It's not even funny. But those are the steps that we're going to talk about. And you can use them right now. If you're not passing a class, you can go and you can talk to your advisor. You can talk to your teachers. You can talk to your TAs, everything. And you can run, get the help you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fire's not out yet. I want to talk to you through the common mistakes in our segments where you're going to get burned. I want to talk about the shields that will protect you from getting burned. And of course, those reflection questions in the afterburn. But first, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
There's a hotel window, many floors above. What's missing down there is love. Thinking through the smoke that fills my mind. Don't worry, it's not my first time. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. It's all inside, heaven and hell. What happened to that angel when he fell? Give it just one try, tell me you don't like it. Be God for a moment and don't despise it. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. Step aside and breathe. Play a little people in the street. Hope it's not me they're sending. Move one from over there, get the kids a little scared. Oh, these fences, they need mending. Adios, amigo, so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo, I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Adios, amigo, so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo, I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town.
Before we get back to the show, Hot Takes with the Murph Man streams live every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern with Military Broadcast Radio. At mbradio.us, we give veterans a voice and help them launch their own podcasts. Make sure to visit purehottakes.com for all my socials and links to our premium content.
All right.
All right, there we go.
So we are back. We talked about the terms that we had today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which were, excuse me, growth mindset, academic resilience, course corrections, right? We talked about, Jorge and how he changed his whole career plan.
Over one class, which made no sense.
It didn't, but
It really didn't.
it's a true story, though.
But I mean, what did changing majors have to do with you failing calculus?
Well, he realized it wasn't for him.
Yeah, but that he changed majors and
'Cause
then took the class
like-
again and passed it.
Well, yeah, but he only needed to take one as opposed to three. Like, you have to take 3 calculus classes, 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, that's why I said 3.
Your program has 3 calculus classes.
Well, pre-cal, cal, but
4 with pre-cal.
well, but even then, it was just that one class.
Yeah, but he realized that one class was he's not gonna do it, so he changed his plan. Still had to take the class again, but only had to take 1 calculus course instead of 3.
Oh,
and a few other harder courses,
Oh, well, okay. It made it seem like he just Cal 1. No,
Yeah.
I don't like it. I failed. I'm changing majors.
Yeah,
Cal
no,
1 again.
It was
passed it.
the requirements for the degree that were the thing. I started to make that clear.
No, you're good.
But
I
when
was
you-
just confused.
the feedback, when you analyze what went wrong, you talk to your professor, talk to academic advisors, reflect on your majors. Those are all things you can do right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just you. I'm saying in general.
Yeah. Anyway.
But at some point, you're going to have those pitfalls. We call it sections where you're going to get burned. So let's talk about that and find out where you'll get burned.
Hiding is the enemy. Let's talk about where you'll get burned. These are some common pitfalls. Ignoring the problem. Don't ghost the class or the professor. Blaming the teacher. Take ownership of your part to change the outcome. Giving up too soon. One failure does not define your entire college career. Danger zone identified. Murphman, kick it off.
The common pitfalls. All right. 1, you can't ignore the problem. You cannot ignore a problem. Do you know why an ostrich sticks its head in the ground?
To hide from predators.
Well, it's not really going to hide anywhere.
Well, I mean, it thinks It is. I don't know.
Right, because he can't see you, you can't see him.
Yeah.
Right. Ignoring the problem doesn't do anything. Okay. You have to address the issue. That's probably the most important point here. Like I've done this story about don't think of anything you want. Okay, Connor, clear your mind. Sit back, clear your mind, think of anything you want to think about. Just don't think about a white horse. All right. Whatever you do, just tell yourself, don't think of the white horse. Well, you're not going to be able to think about anything but that stupid white horse because you're trying to ignore it. What? I want to know what's in your head.
I was thinking of Family Guy.
Oh my God! Let me. I have a student that actually sounds like the guy from Family Guy. Like,
which one?
Do you feel bonita?
Chris. Yeah.
I don't know their names, but I'm listening to because I'm teaching Spanish now, right?
Yeah.
And I'm listening to his speech. That's when he started talking. I had to push pause. I was laughing so hard. I had to share it with my two coworkers and say, "Is it just me, or does he sound like the guy from Family Guy?" And they're like, "Yeah, totally."
That's funny. People say I sound like Alan from Smiling Friends.
From what?
Smiling Friends. It's a show.
I don't know. That's obviously for younger people.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, but it's like a cartoonish.
Okay.
It's an animated thing.
What is it?
Smiling Friends.
Never heard of it.
It's like mature, I guess. It's just really weird.
Yeah, stuff on Cartoon Network is crazy.
Cartoon Network.
Well, yeah, it's just all the Adult Swim stuff and everything.
Technically, yeah.
That's Cartoon Network.
Adult Swim?
Adult Swim is on Cartoon Network after hours, yes. It's not like pornos. It's just made for the older crowds.
Okay. I was like...
There's some really crazy stuff that I've seen on that. Anyway.
Me too.
Don't get me distracted, goddammit.
Sorry. It's like, yes.
You can't ignore the problem. You don't go to class with the professor. If I don't go back, I don't have to deal with it,
Yeah.
Trust me, people do that all the time to me as a professor. I had one student who actually ghosted me. I don't, you don't do your work, I fail you. It's simple. I'll give you guys chances and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
But this one particular student, she walks into my class like 2 years later because she had to retake it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, I remember you. You were in my class a couple years ago. I said, what happened? Did you fail and have to retake it? She goes, no, I was in a coma. I was in a coma for 4 months and I missed your class.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, damn. And I told her, I said, I went back to my grade book and I said, okay, you did everything up until this point. So you have a choice. You can stay here or you can just pick up at this point and finish it.
That's what my computational thinker, intro to computational thinking teacher said. Because I emailed her, but she never responded.
Uh-huh.
So I talked to her in class and then I told her, like, Miss, I missed like 3 or 4 assignments with 1 or 2 quizzes. I'm like, is there any way I could like do it? Because there's no makeup. And he's like, there's no makeup. I'm sorry, but then I was like, but I was in the hospital. I like emailed you, and she's like, yeah, proof. I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll show you the lidocaine patches and all that. Yeah, I got stuck. But I was like, I had the instructions. That's why I took it.
Yeah.
The book, so I could show her.
And what'd she say?
She gave me a chance to do the assignments.
The teacher said she wouldn't give you. I told you.
But the quizzes, I couldn't. So I got exempt.
Oh, okay.
Because she posted quizzes answers.
My point being, right.
So that's
my
why
point being is you didn't get a 0 because you talked to her.
No, but I'm like still failing because I haven't finished them yet.
Well, I know. Okay. You're still making up stuff. That's fine.
Yeah. In every class.
I'm aware of that. But you can't ignore the problem. You got to talk to the teachers and, don't ghost the class. Also, blaming the teacher. In some cases, I'm not going to lie, it's the teacher.
Like that one.
Well,
like if I wasn't in the hospital, like anything like life endangering, and I was just absent, like family issues, nah. She would have been like, no. If you're not dying, then no.
Well, we thought you were dying.
Yeah. Well, I was dying.
No, you weren't dying. Your heart was fine. We talked about this. You just felt like you were dying.
I was out of breath. That's right.
You felt like you were dying. You weren't dying.
I was crying, and I swear to God, I was like vacuuming up my tears.
It hurt, but you weren't dying. I will tell you, I've had students complain about how I teach.
Why do you say that?
because the way I teach is I'll use the book, and my test comes from the definitions. Okay, so anything that's in the column is going to be tested. It's that simple. But I go over every term.
Wow.
And I will talk about every term. I might talk about 5 or 6 terms in one story, but I don't say, okay, right now we're going to talk about this, okay? And now we're going to talk about this. No, it's like I tell a story and I explain all the definitions for that segment.
Mm.
And people are like, all he does is, you read my reviews, like, all he does is just talk about whatever. And well, yeah, that's how I teach. I want to say, okay, tell me what year I don't do that. I'm like, let me explain to you what psychology is. This is what we're talking about. And I talk like I do here. And
yeah.
But people are like, oh, I don't understand what he's trying to teach. It's in the book. That's what I'm testing you on. I'm giving you the examples and the stories.
I don't know. I think the stories might confuse them. That's why.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Even though I'm still talking about the stuff, they're like, that's not everyone's cup of tea. And I'm okay with that, That's how I teach here, right? Through stories. Although we get distracted by different stories.
Yeah.
At the time, like when you were born and I was in developmental classes, I talked about you every day, and people were like, here we go again with this kid, And I understand that, but I try to pull from everything going on in my life that's current. So when I try to give an example or something, it's there. Mm-hmm. Last but not least, here's don't give up too soon. One failure doesn't define your entire college career. Excuse me, God.
You good?
I had one semester that had a lot of life stuff going on, and I wasn't doing the work and I wasn't understanding it, and I was having a hard time, and I got a C.
Oh.
And I thought that was the end of the world. And again, I got through it earlier and I said, grades don't matter, right? But for me, a C meant I really didn't understand the material. And that becomes a problem when you take the next class and the next class. If you're not learning the material, you're going to have a harder time down the road, So it's not about, for me, it's not the grade itself, it's what I learned. And when I have an A, obviously I learned what the teacher wanted me to learn. I did good. When I have a C, it's like, ooh, I didn't really learn a damn thing,
Yeah.
So I have 2 C's on my record. Now, I'm gonna share a story here about going back to blaming the teacher. We got to take ownership, right? We talked about that. In a class that I had, a theories class, so we talked about psychological theories. My computer broke. As I'm turning like probably about a month before the semester ended. And I've been working on it all semester. So I tell you, don't wait till last minute to work on something, right? Lost all my work. My disk crashed and erased or whatever. Looking back now, I think my ex-wife probably put a magnet on it and erased it. But anyway, so I went to my teacher. I'm like, I lost all my work. And he goes, and? What do you mean, and? He said, what do you want me to do? Give you an extra 3 months? The semester's over in a month. You have to figure it out. I was like, what a jerk. Well, I realize now, right?
Yeah.
But at that moment, I was just like, wow.
I know. I would have, yeah.
What a jerk. That's not the word I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah.
What a Richard, but I was like, I just got to do it. And I had to work really hard to get it, right? That's the same teacher that I turned in my paper to him and goes, I think this feels like a C. And I'm like,
yeah.
So I went and I just copied and pasted everything.
I would have hated him.
Well, it turns out he's the one that got me into Who's Who. He's the one that nominated me.
Who's Who?
Yeah, Who's Who among college students and universities. One of the best, when you're one of the best students in the country.
Really? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Remember you told me.
Yeah, I have the book up there on my shelf. Yeah, literally. I mean, I'm in the book, right?
Yeah.
And I was one of the top students in the program when I graduated, but he didn't want to recommend anybody but me.
Oh, because
as far as I know,
you tried more.
Well, I don't know.
Even if you were failing, you were like, I'll show you that I'm better. And you did.
Right. So, going back to the 3 terms we just talked about, don't ignore the problem, don't blame the teacher, and don't give up too soon. You got to bounce back from stuff. It's one of those things that when you're doing work, it's one of those things that you have to keep going. It's one of those things that you can't stop, and you got to just do everything that you need to do. So don't expect the teachers to be giving you everything. Now, you miss a whole week of school. Hey, how can I work around this? Because I have to do this week's and last week's. So they usually give you twice the amount of time. So they have 2 weeks to make up all the work. Well,
I know, but I'm saying end of the week. I'm like, okay.
Well, but at least they let you make it up. You don't have a job. You don't have anything else going on in your life. You shouldn't have a problem turning all that stuff in. But it's still a lot of work, so you got to do it. But the other thing is, you don't have to do it alone. Obviously, I can't help you with your homework, right? But there are things we can do that will protect you from getting burned, falling into those pitfalls. And they're called our heat shields. And I'd like to show those to you now. Here are our heat shields.
Stop the spiral. Here are your heat shields. Emotional recovery. Don't start the comeback while you are in a free fall. Limit dwelling time. Reach out to non-judgmental resources like a mentor or advisor. Future protection. Recognize the value of the shield in absorbing the initial impact. The shields are up. Murph Man, watch the take.
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you later.
All right. So stop the spiral. Emotional recovery. Don't start the comeback while you're on the free fall. You have to get your life back in order. If you find out why you failed at it and you got that F, then you can go ahead and you can start doing something about it. Okay, but if your life is still going downhill, like for example, if you were still having all these issues, are you going to be able to focus on school? No. So you got to take care of yourself first and then focus on what you got to do. It's one of those things that it's interesting. And when I was going through my program, I was also going through therapy for my PTSD and stuff, things I had to deal with. And talking about it in school, every now and then I'd get triggered. And I had to learn how to focus and stay, I would walk out of the room. Sometimes I would just sit there, close my eyes and just breathe. Whatever I do to get grounded, But life goes on, and when you're in school, life goes on. You got to deal with school and work and play and everything,
Mm-hmm.
So recover emotionally as fast as you can so you can recover from that. Limit dwelling on the time. Reach out to non-judgmental people like an advisor or mentor that you can talk to and ask for help. I've told you before, my advisor, my mentor, is Horacio. When I tell him what's going on, my cousin, I'm like, hey, I have this situation here. What do you think? And he'll give me some advice because he's very impartial. And future protection. Recognize the value of the shield in absorbing the initial impact. Vibranium, marbles, right?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
It absorbs the impact. That's what the shield is. Before you get the F, you're getting an F. Before you fail, you're failing, right? And you're like for example, when I had this, I knew as soon as that came out, it was cancer, and I prepared for that. Now I didn't sit here and tell you I'm worried I have cancer, right? I didn't scare you that way.
Not that way.
But once I told you I had cancer, I also told you, well, here's what I can expect. It's the type of cancer that's curable, blah blah blah. but I prepared myself and you as best as I could, right? By giving knowledge.
Mhm.
So when you think about that, as far as school is, use your resources, your advisors, get a good night's rest.
What time did
Protect
you go to
yourself
sleep?
early.
Wow.
But it just, sit there and focus on everything, so that you can move on, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
Don't dwell. Failing is not fun, but it's not the end of the world either. You can, like, for example, have you seen those movies where like the parents are paying for college and the kids like just not doing anything in school, right? And the dad comes to visit him,
Oh, yeah.
and he's like, "What do you mean you're not this? You're not that?" Right? We watched Back to School, and I told you that would probably be me if I was rich and I could go back to school when you were going to school. But it's not the end of the world. Think of the F word as feedback. That's probably the most important thing is feedback. Let's talk about some of those things we can reflect on, those questions in our section called the afterburn.
You having trouble?
Reflect on your value. In today's Afterburn, here are some questions for you to reflect on. What did this failure teach me about my study habits? Am I still committed to this path, or is it time to pivot? How can I show myself kindness right now? Reflection complete. Murphman, start the clock.
So, what did this failure teach me about my study habits? Right? I can tell you, like when I was in the field for that week and I missed the whole accounting class, I was in the field. I was busy doing soldier stuff.
Yeah.
Last thing I was going to do was pull a book out and read. I was on guard duty. I had to literally guard ourselves because we were being attacked and, playful war games and stuff. But I had no downtime. I had to like pretend it was the real thing, right?
Mhm.
And I could read a book on my downtime, but to take my class books with me,
Class books and studying, yeah.
yeah,
No.
we have laptops back then. It was just computers. Yeah, just I couldn't study, so I get back the week later and I missed everything. When I failed that course with this, and I say I failed, I got that C in that course. I was happy I got a C because I had too much going on in my life, and I'm happy I got a C.
Mhm.
Okay, to me that was in a way succeeding, but I wasn't happy with it.
Yeah.
Other classes I've gotten a B in or a C in is like they actually put the effort into it. And I can say, not really. There were some classes I didn't want to take. And there were sometimes I had problems with teachers. I hated the teacher. It happens. That's the only teacher that teaches that class, and you have no choice but to take the class. So it sometimes it's not the best thing. But you got to ask yourself, what am I doing? Remember we talked about what can you control?
Yeah.
You only can control what you can do. You can't control what the teachers do. Like I told you, go to school and talk to your teacher, right? You're like, it's not going to work. She's not going to. It might not, but if you don't talk to them, you'll never know.
If I didn't bring the papers, I would have not worked.
Okay.
So I was like, thank God I brought them.
So your study habits are something you got to look at, right? Am I still committed to this path, or is it time to pivot? That's the question you're going to ask yourself for 4 to 5 years now, Connor. You're like, did I make the right choice? Even when you're looking for a job and doing the internships and everything, did I make the right choice? And no. Okay. Or maybe like, you're gonna doubt yourself, and doubt is okay. Even me, who I was positive I was gonna be a counselor, I was like, did I make the right choice?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And then last but not least is, how can I show myself kindness right now? Don't be hard on yourself for failing. You know, it happens. You can't succeed 100% of the time. You know, if you put the effort in, you're going to get the reward out of it. If you don't put the effort in, what do you expect?
Yeah.
You know, but don't be too hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. Can you think of any other questions that will help you reflect on today's subject? Like earlier you said, you know, good show, like it's going good. But like, what were you thinking of? Like, what were you reflecting on at that moment?
When I said a good job.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just with what happened before, like beginning into the stream, I'm just like, we kind of came back.
Or resilient, right?
Yeah.
We always seem to have some trouble, and it's one of those things where
And it's like
it's on that end of the table, not this end. Okay.
But it's like we can't really try it because we have to go live, and
sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. You know, that's what. Maybe we just need to just stop doing that. You know.
Well, I mean, we're trying new things after 28 episodes.
Yeah, but we've had too many problems. But I'll tell you what. How about we go to break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the digital inferno and excuse me, and how technology can help us. We'll be right back.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Wonder what was going on inside the man in black's mind. Was he missing June? Was he thinking back when that picture was snapped? Was he wishing he could hold her? Did he know his life was over? The day that camera flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash. The lines of life there on his face show hard living and show grace. A story told in shades of black. Was he whispering a prayer through that cold and lonesome glare? The day the camera flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash.
Could he hear that angel band? June singing Beulah Land. Was he fighting the tears back? Was he still here in his mind, or somewhere on the other side? The day the camera flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash.
The lines of life there on his face show hard living and show grace. A story told in shades of black. Was he whispering a prayer through that cold and lonesome glare? The day the camera flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash. Wonder what was going on inside the man in black's mind. The day old Marty flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash.
Before we get back to the show, remember that Hot Takes with the Murph Man is partnered with Stream915.com. the place for premium content you won't find in the live podcast or on socials. Visit purehottakes.com to connect on socials and unlock your discount link to stream915.com.
All right, you guys.
Oh, I hate this.
Wait a minute here. What is going on? Okay. Yeah, thank you. I was waiting for you to take it off.
It was still showing it.
I don't know why.
I don't know either.
All right, so we're back, you guys. So let's calculate the impact on everything you have here. You've got the tools, the motivation. Now we have to do our digital take in the digital inferno. And what this does is how technology helps us enforce the structure of your comeback in the digital age. Here's a digital inferno.
Data beats despair. Failure isn't the end. It's feedback. Use a GPA calculator app to immediately see the mathematical reality of the grade. It's rarely as fatal as it feels. Log into your university's degree audit system to see exactly which requirements remain and how a retake or a major switch would affect your timeline. Knowing the numbers kills the fear. The inferno is digital. Murphman, break it down.
All right, so the GPA calculator app, you don't need a calculator app for that, right? But you can sit there and you can say, okay, these are the classes I take, and you can go. Now, in my job, I have this thing called an LMS, the Learning Management System. How it's our Blackboard, for example. A lot of people know Blackboard.
Okay.
But they have a what if analysis on there. And you can say, okay, what if I go and retake this test and I score 100? Well, what did my grade change? And I have a kid right now that she reached out to me. She was, you're my teacher, and my previous teacher would give me all the chances to retake the test and try to improve my score. I'm like, well, you only can take the test 3 times, I said, even if you get 100, I showed her, like on the what if calculator, I said, your grade's going to go up by 4 points. You're still not going to get the A you want. I said, all you got to do is keep focusing on what you're doing in the future and all the assignments you have from now on, and do good in those. And you might have a chance. And then we went through and we put 100 on each grade, and she could get 92. That means you have to be perfect.
That's crazy. That's really crazy.
I said, if you think you can do it, fine. I'll help you through it. I'm your teacher. That's one thing about my job at being online. Kids can come in and talk to me anytime. And why are we muted?
On what?
Oh, that's 3 and 4. Sorry. I just saw the red lights. Students can come in anytime they want and get help. And like I have one student who came in yesterday, and she's like, I sent you a voicemail with my recording. I said, I don't have anything. Then she realized she sent it to the wrong teacher because I took over the class. I just said, just call me again and leave me a voicemail. And she's like, that's not working. We'll just come into the class. She goes, I don't want to talk to you in person, and because I hate my Spanish. I said, okay. I said, I'll tell you what, let's go to a breakout room, and we talked. And I said, I'll let you work on it. Use Google Translate. Use that to actually, not to translate your work. Let me make that very clear. But
just to know how to pronounce stuff.
Yeah. And then you go in there and you practice it and see how it sounds, and then you can actually say it. And then there's also a spell checker you can use for Spanish, where you can have a whole paragraph put in, and it'll tell you what you have written incorrectly, your accents and everything. So technology can help you with that. But she came in and I said, okay, we got to work here. Are you ready? She's like, no. I said, first word. And it was porque. And she said, it's pork you. I'm like, no, it's not. I said, it's like a K, porque. Think of it that way. It's like porque. Okay, then later on, we were talking about a forest, and that's bosque. And she got to that word and she goes, bosque. No, bosque. Bosque. And I said, got it. now you gotta say the whole sentence. Like, oh God. But she sat there and she worked on it with me probably for about 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes.
Oh wow.
And it was a little 5-sentence paragraph. But this was a kid who said, I don't want to talk to you. I'm embarrassed about my Spanish and everything. But we went through and we broke down each sentence. And when she got done, I said, okay, you got 100.
Just like that?
Because she kept working on it. I could have given her the grade at the very first attempt or, at the last. If she would have said, that's all, I'm done, she would have gotten the grade I would have given her at that point. But she worked on it. She kept working and improving. Finally, she got it 100%, And she says, how'd she say? She says, I hope I get to work with you again.
Aww.
And I said, well, I'm your teacher right now probably till the end of the year, maybe even next year, if we don't find a Spanish teacher. I substitute, right? And my job right now is to be the Spanish teacher. And she says, oh, so you're going to be around a while? I said, maybe. We might find someone this week and hire them, and they want to start right now. Maybe there's an out-of-work Spanish teacher out there somewhere that wants to get a job. Reach out to us, 915-201-0887. And I'll tell you guys about the jobs. But yeah, it's interesting because I was teaching her how to use technology not to cheat, but to practice. And we were able to use Google Translate, Spanish spell checker, Gemini. Also works, right?
How?
You can have it, like, for example, if I tell me what this picture says, it'll read the picture for you. So you can actually have it read your screen for you. Now, what's really cool is the Google Translate app. If you're traveling, you can hold the image up and read this sign for me. And it tells you the history of the program.
Wow.
And like I had a kid translated in Latin. I don't know how that happened, but when we were in Mexico City, there was a church there, a cathedral, and there was a plaque that was in Latin. And I remember my girlfriend's mom was like, I wonder what that says. And we sat there and we tried to figure it out, and Latin roots, right? All words have Latin roots. And I said, why don't I just use my app? I pull the phone out, take a picture. So what does it say? And it's read it in English. And the mom's, that's not going to help me. I don't speak English. I said, okay, well, let me change it to Spanish. You know what I mean?
Wait, then, is she speaking English this whole time or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's her
what I
mom.
thought.
It was her mom.
Yeah.
She spoke some English, but I'm saying I translated for her to English, and she's like, okay, that didn't help me. Latin, English is the same thing. I don't speak English, But we used the app to translate it. It was really cool that we were able to do that. And so you can use technology to help you pass classes and understand where you're at and whatnot. Your GPA, the what if calculator, is one of those things where you can do, you have to stay above a certain GPA to keep your financial aid. So you can go, okay, how many classes am I taking? How does it work? That kind of stuff. And find out what your GPA will be. Like, for example, if you get all A's next semester, your GPA will raise up by so many points. But if you think about this at the end of your 4 years, having straight A's doesn't really affect your grade too much. It's at the beginning when there's less numbers to pull from. So as you get higher in your classes, your GPA goes up a little by little by little, but it doesn't just jump like it would right now in your first semester versus second semester. You also can, like one of the phrases it says here is, the mathematical reality of the grade, it's rarely as fatal as it feels.
Right.
Okay, one grade when you fail one class.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't do good on all your classes and you fail one or two, your GPA is going to drop a lot. Okay, and it's going to be hard to recover from that. It can be done, but it's not the end of the world. Of course, you can log into a university degree audit system to see exactly which requirements remain and how to retake a major switch would affect your timeline. Again, if you were to say right now, I want to become a nurse, all the classes you've taken are just electives now. So you have to go back and take all the basics for nursing. Oh, that's another 4 year. I don't know if I want to do that or whatever,
Yeah.
And sometimes just knowing the numbers kills the fear. if you know what you got to do, and I cannot tell you how many times I've had students reach out to me and say, "What happens if I don't take the final exam?" Well, you lose 10 points, and you lose 10 points. That you're asking me what would happen. So you mean like if I have an A right now, I'd get a B? Yeah. Oh, then I'm not taking the final exam. Okay, that's fine. But when you come out with a 79, because you didn't get 100 on everything, and you get a C, don't come crying to me, right? And I can tell you, and I've told you this, I've had students that had like 1 point away from an A, and they did every assignment. They just weren't perfect.
What did they miss or what that made them not get the
Like
100?
they would get an 85 on all the tests.
Mm.
They didn't get 90 or 100, you know, but they were trying. They did every single one of the assignments. They did every one of the replies they had to, and they just missed it by 1 point. I'll give them at 1 point, you know, if the student is calling me going, like I had that one student who had cancer. And she's like, I just want to pass. I don't care what grade I get. I'm dying. I was like, okay, you know, just do what you can. That's all I'm going to ask you to do. I can't sit here and say I'm going to give you an A and you don't have to come to class. I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just do what you can. And at the end of the semester, we'll talk. And she ended up getting a B. And she's all I cared about was passing. You could have given me a C. I said, I didn't give you anything. You earned the B. I didn't give you anything, you know.
Wow.
And I remember one time I told a teacher, I was like, you gave me a B? I thought I had an A in your course. And she goes, correction, you earned the B. I didn't give you the A. Like, okay, I'll go to hell. But when you have students reach out to you, you tend to be a little more helpful toward them and whatnot, right? And knowing the numbers can help you pass. Like right now, for example, you lost the whole week of work, you're exempt. So, okay, so that means those grades won't count towards your final exam, you know. So what grade will you have? What grades do you need to get to the grade you want? You know, you can do the math. It's just basic math on how to calculate. When I do my class, I tell people every assignment is a grade point. Real simple. A test is worth 10 points. An assignment is worth 3 points. You know, you have 16 assignments. You have 4 or 5 tests. You know what I mean? There you go. And then a favorite essay that you have to do for 5 points. And you have 100 points there. So what if I don't do this assignment? You just lose the points from that assignment. It's not hard. If I get a 50 on the test, then you only get 5 points instead of 10. You know, it's basic math, but it's not really an average of your grade the way I do my grading system.
Really?
Yeah. It just, if you do your work, you get the points, you know. And what's funny is one of my assignments, you have to reply to 2 students, right? So you get 3 points for the test, and I go back after the assignments are graded, and I add that 1 point if you did the replies. So that student's going, how come I didn't get full credit? Because I just haven't calculated the replies yet. I'm giving you a chance to reply if you haven't done it, or for those who are still waiting. I'm not going to go in there and check other replies every single day. I'm just going to wait till later in the month and I'll check it, you know, and I'll catch up.
Yeah.
You know, but it's basic math. That's how you can keep it. And once you keep the numbers there, you definitely can do that. Understanding that your GPA is numbers, you know, you can take more classes and whatnot to raise your GPA. Anything higher than what you have, like for example, if you have a 3.0, which is a B, if you get A's, it'll go up. It's not going to go down. If you get B's, it's going to stay the same. You start getting C's, it's going to go down. That's how GPAs work.
Yeah.
You know, it's all numbers. So real simple math. Think about that. You know, let me ask you, Connor, do you have any questions about this? Anything here that struck a nerve with you, or you're like, man, I want to know more about that?
I mean, what's the like what if and all that? Like, where do you find that at? Do you just look it up?
Well,
or?
I don't think Blackboard has it.
UTEP does. on the actual website, there's a what if like evaluation, but it really doesn't help.
It helps you with your overall grade, not your classroom grade.
Yeah. Well, not even grade. It just helps out. Like, what if I take this instead of this? That's it.
Okay. Well, but that's still important to know.
I would think so. I can look it up right now. But,
Okay.
nah.
But yeah, so I'll tell you what, let's take one more last break here and we'll come back with the final burn.
Sounds great.
We're right back.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down here to lie. For these stars and stripes, stand on these front lines. He'll pay the ultimate price. Lay down in the light. For these stars and stripes, march in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
Before we wrap up, here's a reminder. Hot Takes with the Murph Man streams live every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern with Military Broadcast Radio. At mbradio.us, we give veterans a voice and help them launch their own podcasts. Hot Takes with the Murph Man is partnered with Squad 915 Studios, the place for premium content you won't find in the live podcast or on socials. At stream915.com, we are a local platform made for El Paso with content exclusively created by El Pasoans. Check it out. It is free to create an account. Visit purehottakes.com to connect on socials and unlock your discount link to stream915.com.
It's gonna be
right there.
It's still playing. Ugh.
All right, Mr. Red, White, and Blue. I love some of the songs that we have here. Like Adios Amigo, the Sniper song. I love that one too. I love that one. Cypher Shirt. Makes Me 2-0 again. It's been one of those things where we've done all that, you know. But you're back in time for the final burn. We're going to talk about this and then we'll wrap up the show. We'll be right back.
A comma, not a period. The final take from today's discussion is, failure isn't a full stop. It's a comma. Take a breath, turn the page, and keep writing your story. The final flame has been struck. Murphman, take the mic.
All right, so it's a comma, not a period.
As in, like, it's not the end of it. It's just a
pause.
A pause. Or like an event in your story.
You know, the final take from today's discussion is take a breath. Turn the page and keep writing your story. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of anything. It's a pause. You know, like I tell people, when you're late for your period, it's a semicolon. Right?
Why do you say that?
Because a period, you know.
Oh. You're so hilarious.
But yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, it's a pause. It's not the end of the world, although it might feel like it. You know, it's not the end of the world. You want to go out there. You want to be able to do things. You want to be able to succeed. And the way you do that is pivoting. I don't know if you remember, if you know the TV show Friends. There's a show called Pivot. Where
A show?
Well, not an episode.
Okay.
Where they're trying to get a couch up some stairs, and it goes up this way, then up this way. And Ross is like, pivot, right? Pivot. But the whole episode is just a blooper reel because they could not keep a straight face. And then, of course, Ross, David Schwimmer is like, you know, just being overly exaggerated, like, pivot, you know.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it Chandler or was
Chandler
it
trying to lift?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
Monica
thought,
yeah. And but yeah, it was, you know, every time I hear the word pivot, that's what I think of.
Pivot.
Yeah, pivot. And but yeah, you know, think about that. Sometimes we got to pivot ourselves. Sometimes we got to take that break. Sometimes we got to change the plan. You know, sometimes we got to change schools altogether. So, and life happens, right? Like for example, right now, let's just pretend I'm looking for a job. I get a job in Kentucky. You live with me. You're going to college here. Would you move to Kentucky with me? Think about that for a second.
No.
Okay, so then how would you support yourself? Where would you live? What would you do? You know what I mean?
Friends, family. I mean, I don't know.
You'd have to find the way. You'd have to pivot.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm not gonna get accepted to Kentucky.
Yeah, you would. That's not the
if I apply. Well,
that's not the point of the story, Connor.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, if I would.
I'm saying you go to college, I pay for you.
Oh, you're just saying.
Right.
You're just saying if you leave me.
If I leave you, yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying like an actual thing. I'm like, I don't know,
If
man.
I die, you have enough money for college. Okay, but if I move because I have to go for a new job,
I wouldn't go with you because everything's here.
Right. So you'd have to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you have to make those changes. Some things just, you know, work out, some things don't, you know, and you got to analyze everything. Just keep that in mind, you know, take a breath, turn the page, and keep writing your story. It doesn't end with a bad thing. There's still
some stuff does.
Well, if you get killed, obviously, okay, but you know, you go out there and you know, it's not the end of the world.
You're homeless. You have no car.
Well, we saw a movie last night. Good.
I have no idea what it was called.
I forgot the name of the movie. It's the new Keanu Reeves movie.
I don't know.
Look it up.
I was just looking at Keanu Reeves because I don't
Yeah.
know what to look up. Good Fortune.
Good Fortune.
Yeah, with Seth Rogen and
Aziz Ansari.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know if y'all seen that movie or not, but we saw it. Yeah, last night.
yeah.
Though.
And it's the end of the world for some of the people, right? But it's all about your perspective on life and how it changes stuff.
Yeah.
And what we go through makes us a different person. Not so much a better person, but just different. And there really is no end of the world. It doesn't get as bad. You got to find a way around it. And that's one thing I don't know if you noticed about Seth Rogen's character is he doesn't let his situation get him down. He finds a way. He doesn't quit no matter what. It's just another page in the story. Keep that in mind. Well, that brings us to the end of today's show. We've covered a lot of ground and how to turn that F into a roadmap for success. You guys have a wonderful week.
Have a wonderful spring break. Oh,
spring break.
It's coming up now.
We still got a couple of weeks, dude.
I just wanted to come back.
Speaking of that, September 29th, I think is a Tuesday. Make plans to be out of school the 29th and the 30th.
Why?
We're going to go to Iron Maiden in San Antonio.
Again?
San Antonio, not Dallas.
No, but we're going to go see them again?
You don't want to?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
All right, y'all. That's the end of today's show. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned.
That's a wrap on this episode. If you're looking for more, you can find all the best clips from the show on our social media pages. For all the links and more information about what we talked about today, visit purehottakes.com. And if you want to watch the full replay or get access to our premium content, subscribe now at stream915.com. We appreciate you tuning in.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.